Look at it, so very easy. My name is Laura, and today I have an idea on how to do a really fun baby or child's quilt. And I'm going to call it Raining Rainbows. It's going to have a cloud, but he's going to be a happy cloud, and he's going to rain rainbow drops. Let's see how it turns out. This baby quilt is going to be very simple and a lot of fun to make. It's going to be comfy cozy because I will be using this beautiful flannel from Maywood Studios. I'm going to be using a polka dot for the back and a very slight polka dot for the front. It is a white with little gray dots. I am going to use this jelly roll, and it is also all flannel, and it's called Lammies. And we are going to be doing a cloud, and the cloud is going to be a rainbow cloud, and he is going to be raining rainbow rain. So this is going to be very, very easy to make. Because it is going to be an applique, I am going to be using a fusible web. And the fusible web that I am going to be using is called Gentle Fuse. It is a very, very light, soft, delicate fusible web. So it's going to keep that nice soft texture for the baby quilt. So the Gentle Fuse does have that paper back, and that's what we're going to draw on. When I say it is very light, you can see how light that fuse is going to be. And it's very, very soft. So we're going to draw our cloud shape first. Now I do have a piece. It's 20 inches by 18 inches. And of course that can always change depending on what you want. But we want to make a cloud. Now you can freehand it or just use some plates. And I'm going to use a pencil, and I'm going to go right over top of this. Just kind of going to do some round shapes in the corner. And then get some other shaped plates. And this is all I'm going to do. Every cloud is random, so we really do not have to worry about it. So there's my cloud shape. And I'm going to make the cloud by sewing these strips together. And I do want to cut it out on an angle. So I'm just going to take and sew some of those strips together. Now I would recommend taking those strips and laying them out into an arrangement that you like. We're going to be able to trim them down and sew them together. But before we do that, we need to flip these fabrics so that we're looking at the back side. The reason is we're looking at that paper right now, and it's going to be fused down. So just flip all of those pieces over. And then just to save the fabric, I did trim off the edges, and I did make it bigger. Then I will number the edges of the order that I want them sewn together. This is going to be cut off, so I don't have to worry about anything showing through. And to help me keep these strips together so that I know where they're going to sew together, I'm going to put a ruler down and mark right here in this area where the seams are going to be going together. Use a water-soluble marker or something that is going to fade. Now I'm going to be able to match up those little notches that I made and go in and sew all of these strips together. So I have that line that was drawn, and it all matches up, and I know my page is going to fit. I'm going to press those seams open. Once this is pressed, I'm going to be able to just take this applique piece and just move it right to the top. So I have the glue side now touching the wrong side of the fabric. I can now go to the iron and fuse this together. The Gentle Fuse only needs a cotton setting on your iron with no steam. However, I would recommend when we do iron it to use one of these fusing sheets. This is called Fuse and View. It is a silicone mat. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that on your ironing surface and then lay this on top and press. And that way, if there's any adhesive, it's going to go onto this mat, not your ironing surface or your iron. And nothing sticks on this, so that'll just come off. My cloud is cut out. So I will have a rainbow cloud. I would just like to take a moment and show you how these fusing sheets work. I have fused this right down with that iron. So it does look like it's stuck, but it's not. It comes right off. Nothing stays on that sheet, and that fusible stays right on that paper back. So it really does protect the iron and the ironing surface. Now I can get my background fabric ready, and I'm going to be cutting my background at 29.5 inches by 36.5 inches. And I would recommend ironing your flannel first and then cutting it second. Once that centerpiece has been cut out, we're going to add a series of borders on them before we put that applique on. I'm going to add 2 borders. We are going to be using these 2.5-inch strips. Now, chances are they're not exactly 2.5 inches, and that's fine. What we need to do is just put 2 borders all the way around. I like to put the long sides on first, so they're going to equal 36.5 inches. Then the top and the bottom will be approximately 33.5 inches, depending on how wide this is. So you might need to make that adjustment, or you can cut these down to 2.5 inches. Then one more border will go on. Again, the 2 sides are going to be done. They'll be approximately 40.5. The top and bottom will be approximately 37.5. Once all of my borders are put on, I'm going to be able to work on this center, and that's where I'm going to put my rainbow cloud. So I'm going to be able to adjust it how I like. I do want it on a bit of an angle, and that way it gives us the feeling of that rainbow. Go to the iron and just fuse that down. I'm going to use a soft gray thread that matches the little dots in the background. I'm also going to applique some little curves coming in. So I'm going to need my plates again. I'm going to draw a little line coming in. So as I'm appliquing, I'm going to applique, come down here, go back out, and then finish. So I'm appliquing in and out. As we have appliqued inside, it does give it a little bit of dimension, so it looks a little bit more cloud-like. Now we're going to do raindrops, and to add those raindrops, we're going to use those leftover strips from our rain cloud. Just fuse onto the back, then cut out some raindrops. And for myself, I am not going to be drawing anything. I am just going to be cutting different raindrop shapes. So they're all just different sizes and shapes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to iron them on. Once my raindrops are fused on, I did fuse one coming off of the quilt, I'm going to make him a happy cloud. Let's give him some cute little eyes, some nice fat cheeks, and a little laugh along the way. Now I did need a little additional black fabric for these pieces, but that's optional. I'm going to fuse this little happy face on, and then I can finish appliquing the quilt. Now this pattern can be made in any size because, well, there really isn't a pattern. We're just going to start with that background fabric and add some borders on it. Make our fun rainbow cloud and some rainbow raindrops, and we're done. You don't have to add the smiley face. I just think it really adds some nice personality. This quilt is approximately 37.5 inches by 44.5 inches. It is soft, and that gentle fuse has made it still nice and soft, so it's always going to have that cuddly feeling. And thank you for joining me today on So Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I do have a newsletter. It's all free under So Very Easy. And be sure to make every day a so-tacular day. Bye for now.